Ghosts are born out of tragedy, and the Shields family certainly experienced their share.
As soon as we came in to the Peter Shields Inn, he was back there again, still watching over everything.
She was saying, there's a boy up there, there's a boy up there.
Sometimes I feel I can see people going by from 100 years ago.
As he stepped from one boat to the other, somehow the gun fired.
Welcome, my friends, to the Victorian paradise of Cape May, New Jersey. It's a quaint seaside town filled with tourists all summer. But when the birds fly south for the winter, Cape May becomes a desolate place. The ice-cold winds howl so fiercely, even the ghosts need a place to hide.
Cape May is one of, if not the most haunted cities in the entire country. Prior to 1609, the entire Cape May Island was used by the Lenni Lenape Indians. There's a beach out there with little crystal quartzes that are now known as Cape May diamonds, and they believe the quartzes had mystical powers.
Every street, every dock, and every cove has its own twisted story. Take Higbee Beach. Locals will swear that if you dare venture here, you'll come face to face with a pleasant man in a long black coat who walks his dog in the sand. Oh, did I mention that Mr. Thomas Higbee has been dead for over a century? Now the undead aren't just lounging on the beach working on their tans. Oh no. There are old hotels and inns on Cape May, and they're brimming with hundreds of bloodless specters. But of all the haunted places here, there is this one place. Just follow me right down Beach Avenue to the lovely Georgian mansion that is the Peter Shields Inn. So beautiful, so romantic, so haunted.
Peter Shields built this home in the early 1900s, and he chose to build this house for his wife and his children, among them his son, Earl Shields, who was at the time 14.
Peter Shields, a wealthy real estate developer from Pittsburgh, could afford to give his family everything, including a summer cottage. Really a mansion on the Jersey Shore. You know, all the rich folks indulge their little boys and girls in the summer. In this case, Earl and his sisters. One beautiful summer's day, young Earl went out looking to have a little fun in the sun. You know, a nice day on the water with a few of his pals. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it?
In the late summer of 1907, Earl Shields and some of his friends from the local Corinthian Yacht Club went out to the marshes right behind his house. And they wanted to go duck hunting, so they took their shotguns out and they took a yacht and a rowboat. Earl was in the rowboat and his friends were out in the yacht. And at one point, Earl decided he wanted to go from the rowboat onto the yacht. He used his shotgun to balance himself as he went from one boat to the other. As he stepped from one boat to the other, somehow the gun fired. It was a devastating shot right to the head. It was clear that he was in mortal danger. So his friends rushed him back to the Corinthian Yacht Club.
With the stench of gunpowder hanging in the air, his buddies could only watch, helplessly, as the doctors tried to work their magic. But with such a gruesome blast to the head, there was no way of saving little Earl.
So the decision was made to bring his body back here to his house. The body was taken to the ground floor, and he was still alive at the time. And his parents came to say their final goodbyes. And it was not too long after they arrived here at the house that he breathed his last breath.
Young Earl Shields died an excruciating death. Shotgun pellets piercing his neck, face, and skull. But even though he mercifully passed into death on that day, it would hardly be the last anyone would hear from him. You know, No kid likes to leave the shore. In fact, right now, down here on the ground floor of the old inn, Earl Shields roams like it's still the summer of 1907.
We came down, we were walking around the house, and came into the ladies' room, and I sensed something was watching me as soon as I walked into the room. I left the doors open, and I did what I had to do, and then I left as fast as I could. I asked my husband what happened over there, and he told me that this is where the body was kept when Peter Shields' son died. I was a little creeped out.
We used to come to Cape May in the summers to go to the beach, and one year we came into the Peter Shields Inn to get something to eat. When we first came in, I remember saying to my mother, "Is this place haunted? Because I feel like there's a man watching us," as soon as we came in. On that visit, we also went downstairs. There was a younger man who appeared to me to be in his late teens, early 20s. He kept going in and out of the women's bathroom.
A feeling like someone is watching you? Right in the area where the teenaged Earl Shields agonized, bled, and died? You know what I think? The spirit of Earl Shields still walks this inn, staking claim to the house he feels is rightfully his.
The house does have a lot of hauntings, a lot of activity in it. A few weeks ago, we had a guest who came to me and told me that our cat was trying to get into his room all night long. He told me he heard the cat scratching at the bottom of his door, and he was kind of complaining about it until I told him that we don't have a cat.
The scratching was either Earl's ghost trying desperately to get back in, or just perhaps Earl is trying desperately to drive others out. But to what lengths will he go to keep you out of his house?
I turned and looked down the hall to my right, and outside the ladies' room, I saw a figure of a man standing there staring at me.
This house off the coast of Cape May, New Jersey, is the perfect place for a quiet beach escape. But there is something you won't read in the guidebooks. In the summer of 1907, 15-year-old Earl Shields, after accidentally shooting himself with a shotgun, agonized for hours and finally took his last gasping breath. Though Earl's earthly remains are buried in Pennsylvania, his ghost lives here. This place now is an inn, and these days, Earl is seen mostly in the basement, hanging around the ladies' room. But before you brand young Earl some kind of pervert, remember, the layout of the inn was very different in 1907.
The woman that was with me asked why was he going in and out of the women's bathroom, and I said that it wasn't a women's bathroom to him. What he was seeing was some kind of area where he spent a lot of time, or something happened down there that he wanted us to focus on.
To young Earl, this space is not a place for a woman's bathroom, because it's the very spot where his bloody, limp body drew its final labored breath before he entered the dark side. A son never wants to disappoint his father, even after death, especially one used to getting his way. And Earl is still trying to make old Pop proud by taking care of the family mansion. You see, to him, the workers and the tourists, they're invading his space.
One day, I was downstairs, cleaning the men's room, on my hands and knees, backing up towards the door. And I just felt like I was being watched. So I turned and looked down the hall to my right, and outside the ladies' room, I saw a figure of a man in a brown Victorian suit. And he was just standing there staring at me. So I did a double take, thinking, did I really see what I think I saw? And I was there on my knees for about 10 seconds, and I was thinking, it might be the ghost of Earl Shields. And then I got kind of freaked out and ran upstairs to the kitchen and told my mom. I was pretty frightened. My mom said I was pale as a ghost. I was kind of shaky. I started to cry when I was telling them what I saw.
If a gun-blasted ghoul showed up at my job, I'd be on unemployment. But Amy's work wasn't done, so she returned. Only one problem. The ghost of Earl Shields wasn't done with her.
Later that day, we went upstairs to clean room 6. And when we went to open it, it felt like someone was standing behind the door, holding it shut. And because of what happened earlier in the day, I kind of suspected that it might be Earl, because we heard that was his room. So we talked to him, said, Earl, we need to get in here to clean. We won't be long. And then we came back a little bit later, and the door opened with no problem.
Good thing Earl pays attention, otherwise nothing would get done around here. But trust me, the ghost of Earl Shields has many more dark tricks than that half a head of his.
This light turned on, then turned off, then turned back on, and then turned back off. I have absolutely no explanation other than Earl Shields in that bathroom.
If you visit the Peter Shields Inn in Cape May, New Jersey, you'll be impressed by its architectural beauty. But beware, my friends, you will be greeted by the disfigured ghost of Earl Shields. In 1907, Earl, just 15, was at the wrong end of a shotgun blast that took half his head off. More than a century after his grisly death, the mangled, gruesome spirit of Earl Shields is still protecting his daddy's house.
It was a late winter weekend when my wife and I came to stay here at Peter Shields' house. And we stayed in the master bedroom, what was at one time Peter Shields and his wife's room. And it's safe to say we met Earl Shields personally that night.
Come on now. Everyone knows a little do not disturb sign can't keep a spoiled rich ghost from coming into your room.
There's a gorgeous fireplace in the master bedroom, and it's a gaslit fireplace with a pilot light. And there's just a simple light switch you flip up and down, to turn the gas on. And I tried everything I could think of to get this fireplace on, and it just wouldn't work. I called down to the innkeepers downstairs, and they came up as well, and they said, unfortunately there's a malfunction with it. So they turned the gas off and went back downstairs. And no sooner did they go downstairs, the fireplace just blazed up full. I thought, well, that's interesting. So I tried to switch again, no effect at all. And then I walked away from the fireplace, and no sooner did I walk away, fireplace turned out again. I thought for a second, maybe my eyes are deceiving me or something. And the fireplace blazed back on again. I kind of fiddled with it, and I tried to switch, nothing. And the fireplace turned back off. And I was just sitting there, just kind of dumbfounded. And I was looking at this fireplace, turned on a third time.
Ah, like all kids, Earl loves playing with fire. So don't get too close, my friends, or you'll get burned.
The innkeeper came up, looked at the fireplace up and down, said, no, the gas is turned off.
A little tantrum from beyond the grave? Sure, but trust me, Earl wasn't done haunting the Millers. Not even close.
When I was in the bedroom, actually I was taking a bath, I noticed that a light came on, and it was a red light in the corner of the room. Within a minute or two after it turned on, it turned right back off.
This light turned on, then turned off, then turned back on, and then turned back off. And it was enough to spook her, because my wife feels the same things that I do. And I checked, the plug was insecure, the switch was turned off, and while it was in there, it turned back on again. I have absolutely no explanation other than Earl Shields in that bathroom doing something with a light.
To an entitled teenage ghost, that kind of stuff's just child's play. Yes, it's evil, but if you think Earl's happy just freaking out a few guests, you need to think again.
Our 4 chambermaids came upstairs and they saw a triangular shadow behind me.
Earl Shields spent his summers as a teenager in this beautiful house in Cape May, New Jersey, until one bright sunny day, he accidentally put a shotgun blast through his brain and slipped through to the other side. Well, that house is now the Peter Shields Inn, a homey, warm place. And young Earl, well, he still thinks it belongs to his family. His family might have moved out a century ago, but Earl still lives here. And he wants you out.
There is a room on the 3rd floor, and this room has since been turned into a cedar-lined closet.
I went to look inside and like something felt very heavy and like something again was watching me and didn't want me in that room.
Right at the top of the steps. I can't even describe it. It's just a strong pull to this little room, as if somebody's staring at you and beckoning you to come in. And as I started to walk in, it felt as if you had put a blanket over the top of my head, just this heavy, heavy feeling.
I got about halfway into the hallway and I immediately left.
It's an all-encompassing, just strong feel. And it was strong enough for me to run back down to the bedroom, and I didn't walk up to that 3rd floor again, and I don't think I will again.
Now keep in mind that young Earl has been a ghost for a long time. He's had plenty of practice with terrifying tricks. If Earl wants you out of his family's house, you had better pack up your stuff and get an early checkout.
Probably about 3.5 years ago. Well, it was a typical day. We had rooms to clean. Our 4 chambermaids came upstairs to gather their linens. The cedar closet is used to house linens. And they saw a triangular shadow stemming from this moon-shaped window behind us. They came screaming down the stairs, and I found them crying hysterically in one of our guest rooms. They decided to come back up, but they were terrified. One of them did not return at the end of the day.
I worked with a young lady named Agata. She was a housekeeper here at the Peter Shields Inn.
With Agata, in rumors that the house was haunted prior to her employment, she didn't mind because she was a non-believer.
She went upstairs this one particular day and was doing her job on the 3rd floor and came down screaming and crying that she had seen someone in the linen closet. She described his pants as brown wool, a plaid shirt, and his age as being late teens.
The shadow, what she thought was a young man, we perceived to be Earl Shields.
Well, we went upstairs immediately to see if someone was up there, but it was in the summertime and everyone was at the beach and there was no one in the linen closet. We did check all of the other guest rooms. When we came back downstairs and talked to Agata about the fact that there was no one up there, she was saying there's a boy up there, there's a boy up there. And said, I'm never going upstairs again. You can't make me go upstairs. She quit her job. She really couldn't continue to work because her job took her to the 3rd floor.
Poor Earl Shields, whose mangled teenage spirit barely got to enjoy this beautiful mansion in real life. So he's done the next best thing. He's here in death, my friends, for eternity.
There are a lot of memories, a lot of history in the house. Sometimes I feel I can see people going by from 100 years ago.
As a non-believer of the paranormal, I actually have to tell myself every evening when I leave work that I don't believe, because people do talk about seeing things in different places, in the basement particularly, which is where I have to end my evening alone. So I just convinced myself that I don't believe in it.
They say that ghosts are born out of tragedy, and the Shields family certainly experienced their share of tragedy. Earl Shields remains here in his old summer cottage, and who knows if he'll ever leave.
Oh, you can be sure Earl would have wanted to keep coming back to his beloved beach for the rest of his life. Who wouldn't? But Earl's here for the rest of his afterlife, giving a dark, cold, and deadly twist to the idea of endless summer. So parents, beware. When your kids are smiling in the water, laughing at the beach, treasure those precious memories, because you never know when a sunny day could end with a parent's worst nightmare. Nighty-night.